Hi guys, what's up? Alright, so yeah, the finance is getting bigger, and why do I say that? I'm going to start with the news which is prevailing in the market now, that Goldman Sachs has actually put in $250 million to build their new office in Bangalore, and trust me, it's top 3 globally. Now, it's in news, it's an eye-catching news. Basically, everybody's talking about it. But now, how does it make finance a kind of a big thing or the next big thing in the market? Now, definitely, so if you look at Goldman Sachs, right, one of the biggest, one of the largest, one of the ranked one investment bank in the world is expanding its operations in India. I think it's a big thing because when you expand your premises, when you expand your offices, right, what is more required is the headcount. You need more employees to work with you, and that's where if we actually deep dive into it, if you look at the way Goldman Sachs is increasing its employee count year on year is really amazing. So to give you guys an idea, Goldman Sachs recruitment has gone up by 24% year on year. That's the recruitment, overall recruitment I'm talking about, wherein they're hiring, the CFAs, MBA Finance, lateral, like MBA Finance, 2-3 साल का work है, उसके बाद they're hiring CPAs, they're hiring SEMA, they're hiring people from FRM background, PRM background, all that stuff. Now that's about your 24% increment in the lateral placement, or when people look out for a job on their own. Now when I come back to the campus, right, the campus recruitment of Goldman Sachs has gone up by 20%. Now that's a big number. When I look at the all India level, that's a really big number. Now understand this, a giant investment banker like Goldman Sachs, if their recruitment is going up, it means there's a huge opportunity for Indian talent, the Indian finance talent, to kind of make it to investment bank. Now I'm going to go back 10 years back, right? So if you look at 10 years back, what used to happen, actually getting into, companies like Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, it wasn't that easy, to be very honest. Now, with this kind of expansion, it's not only Goldman Sachs, who's expanding. Goldman Sachs, later on, you have Morgan Stanley, you've got JP Morgan, you've got Deutsche Bank, you've got, Wells Fargo, you've got Bank of America, you've got so many boutique banks, across the world. They're now setting up their offices in India, and they're now expanding their business in India. Why? Because, yeah, definitely, as an Indian, right, or as geography, as a talent pool, we definitely have a competitive advantage. I'm not going to cover that right now in this video. Just want to tell you guys is that every investment bank now expanding its operations in India, which is a good news for a finance talent. Now, coming back to this 10-year gap that I'm talking about. So earlier it was only, if you're from Ahmedabad, I'm Bangalore, Calcutta, if you're an FMS guy, it used to be possible for you to actually make it to the front end role, which is like, the cream role of, investment bank, predominantly called as markets, right? I have a couple of my friends, a couple of my batchmates who actually got into Goldman markets profile, which is the trading and all that stuff. So from my batch. But now if you look at, as these guys are improving, as these guys are expanding their operations in India, it is not necessary that you got to be from ABC to actually make it to Deutsche, Goldman, Morgan, JP Morgan, or Bank of America, or Credit Suisse for that matter. Now, when we look at backend, definitely their backend operations are expanding in India. Nothing much is happening on the front end. So even backend is really super. Now, when we talk about backend, right, backend as a term doesn't sound really cool or doesn't sound really good, but trust me, these guys have actually changed the definition of backend. If I only talk about backend, you have certain superior, certain amazing and awesome profiles in backend also. What that comes into, or what you have in backend. So when I talk about Goldman Sachs, right? When you talk about Goldman Sachs or Deutsche or JP Morgan or CS for that matter, you have profiles of mergers and acquisition, equity research analyst, global research, valuation, independent price valuation, derivatives valuation. You've got accounting and finance. You've got reconciliation. You've got trading, securities analysis, right? And there are so many things. If I only talk about backend profiles, trust me, there are more than 18 profiles that all the investment bankers are offering in India. They are based in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, Noida, Gurugram, everywhere. So these guys are now expanding, right? And that's the big news for all of you who are trying to do MBA Finance, who are trying to do, CFA, predominantly MBA Finance, because that gives you an edge because you understand the business as well. Now, if I talk about the front end role, yes, ABC folks will definitely have an advantage. But even if you look at the back-end profiles, there are colleges like, Jamnalal Bajaj, Narsi Monji, you have SIBM Pune, you've got colleges like KJ Somaya, you have colleges like SIIB, if I only talk about Goldman Sachs, yes, Goldman Sachs is coming on these campuses. All these colleges have Goldman Sachs as the regular recruiter. I have just posted one of the video on Narsi Monji. So if you look at NM placements, Goldman Sachs is a regular recruiter out there, and they give good packages with really, really good profile. So the point is that finance is now getting bigger as far as investment banks are concerned. So it is not that difficult anymore to get into investment bank and kickstart your career. Definitely you can do it. Definitely you can get into all these big banks. You can work with them. Then you can have your career globally. You can move countries. These companies will send you on site. So it's an amazing field. Now that's the investment banking. Now if you look at, it's not only investment banking which is growing. Look at commercial banks. They are growing. Look at foreign banks. We have n number of foreign banks in India, right? Look at your mutual fund markets. It's moving the ladder up. NBFCs are growing, companies like Motilal Oswal, companies like Anand Rathi, they are also recruiting people for their proprietary trading desk, right? Which is again a fantastic thing, I would say. Religare, it's also growing. So if you look at your banking sector is moving, your commercial banks, foreign banks, NBFCs, you have new payment banks coming into picture. So there is a lot happening in finance field as such. And that's the reason if you look at 5, 6, 7 years down the line, the headcount is going to go up. And I mean, if the Goldman Sachs is coming into India, if it has such a confidence in Indian talent and Indian market, then I think, our banks are definitely going to grow the ladder up. So that's why I'm saying that it's an alarm for all, it's a good alarm for all the finance aspirant or people who are still confused that, which field you should be getting into. Finance is going to be a fantastic choice. And that's what I say, even if you are getting, Chota Mota B school, with your talent, with your technical knowledge of finance, with a couple of certifications, you can still make it to all these big banks. Right, because there is a great amount of openings available out there. So that's what I'm saying. Now, if you look at mutual fund, let's talk about the markets, right? Around about 4,000 crore rupees has actually gone into the Indian stock exchange by the retail janta. Now, Indian stock markets were known to be dependent more on FII, which is foreign institutional investors. That's what happened in 2008, right? Because of so much of money came from FII. When US market started tumbling, the entire money went out of Indian market. But now the Indian markets are also getting stronger because the money is coming from retail people, which are like apne ghar ke log, you can say that, right? So that's where, all these parameters are now getting stronger. And even if you look at mutual fund industry is also growing up, asset management companies are growing up, wealth management domain is growing up. As far as wealth management is concerned, we have kind of exceeded China. We are above China. If you talk about the ranking of the HNIs, we have more HNIs than Chinese market, and that's where there are a lot of job opportunities in wealth management. Even if you are a wealth management person, you do an MBA from a college like KJ, Wellinger, Dalkme and all that, or SIB, your starting package in wealth management domain should not be less than 10 lakhs. Now that's what I want to tell you that, and that's the reason I say that finance is actually getting bigger. You talk about investment bank, you talk about risk management, you talk about any field out here, it's growing, it's moving the ladder up. And if you are a finance student or if you want to pursue finance, then you are going to be a part of this glorious story. And trust me, if you want to get into finance, it's the right time, it's the right thing to do MBA Finance or any other certifications with finance, right? Now, I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of ideas and the real ideas. I'm going to be talking about all the real news, all the realistic things that are happening in the market. So kindly subscribe to this channel and stay tuned to this channel because I will be putting up a lot of video on MBA front, on finance front also. I have another company, Sidhu Mentor is one company. The another company is Analyst Edge, wherein we train people for investment banking profiles, wherein we train people for financial modeling. I have a program which is called as Financial Analyst Program. So all these programs, all these certifications we do in-house and online also. You can check out the link in the description. And if you have any questions with respect to specialization or if you have any question on finance field, just get in touch with me. Feel free to get in touch with me. But this is the good news for all the finance people out there, all the finance aspirant out there. So guys, just couple of things in a nutshell. Work hard. Try to get a good financial literacy, try to know finance very well, and trust me, you will land up in one of these top 10, 15 investment banks in the world. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.